Yeah, it's changed quite a bit. Basically, some of the things that happened, the street course originally was over here, and then the pools and what the snake run was over here. And with widening out the street course, it didn't really fit over there, so we flip-flopped that, and it actually kind of changed the whole layout of the park, and I think it worked out really well. But that was kind of what the impetus to kind of change this whole layout to where it is now. The idea is that, so if you come into the park, this will be your main entrance here. You come out of the parking lot, there'll be the kind of the building right here, and you'll come in. And so the idea is with this area would be kind of a more mellow area where, not as, so when you come in, you're not just coming into like where everybody's just flying at 100 miles an hour. And so it's just kind of open to some basic small features. And also, we talked about having this one bowl, this kind of a real mini ramp bowl. Everything's 4 feet deep. We got a nice long, just straight mini ramp section so the kids can just go back and forth until they decide they want to learn to carve around it. And then also there's this, there's a roll in here, so it's kind of a nice rollover hip, so you can use it as a, someone with more ability can use it as a hip to do airs or whatever over it, but also it's a place where people can, if they don't know how to drop in yet, they can roll in. As you go around this side, so then this forms the snake run here. It starts off pretty shallow, 3 feet deep, and as you move through here, it gets a little wider, or a little deeper, 5 feet deep. And then this kind of area is all like classic snake run style, rollover hips, like if you guys have seen the North Van snake run, that style. And then you get into this area, and it actually forms these two pockets with a doorway going through it. So one side's steel, one side's pool coping. So depending on your preference, you can go over the doorway on whatever type of coping you want. There's this kind of oververt 3/4 pipe here. And then as you come around here, it kind of comes into kind of more of the classic Texas style ditch area. A couple jersey barriers, curbs. It also gives these two nice pyramid hips here, so you've got that going on. This here is actually a jersey barrier going around a corner, and there's actually a little tranny in between it. And that also leads you to these first two pools here. So these were in the previous design, but this is a keyhole. It's about 9 feet deep. This is amoeba, so this is kind of more like a real backyard pool here. It's tight. There's stairs. There's a love seat and a death box in it. And as you move farther along, you come into more some street style stuff, but then also the big Texas bowl. And originally, this was a full-on island. And we kind of closed it off here. People were asking for wanting a really long vert wall. They say downtown the walls are kind of short. So doing this, it kind of separates the bowl a little bit, but also gives you this nice opportunity for like a 35-foot long vert wall, so you can really get some back-to-back stuff going on. There's this whole terraced ledge area here, all kinds of different possibilities here. And then you come around here, here's another little mini ramp section. This is kind of like a Orcas Island style mini ramp. And then these two bowls here, and so these are a little mellower than these bowls. This is a little more wide open, easy to skate, so as opposed to a backyard pool style bowl, more of a flowy type bowl. As you move this way, move into all the street stuff. A lot of this stuff is pretty much the same. A few different features added here. These transitions got bigger, and then there were some benches around here that I got rid of because they were cool at first, but they were kind of in the way, really. So it just was like, let's just make it a nice 5-sided pyramid here with the Star of Texas in there. And then as you move in here, so the idea was this is kind of some bigger street stuff. And as you move this way and you're heading back towards the beginner area, it gets a little smaller. So that way, depending on where you want to go with your ability or how tough you're feeling that day, you can kind of pick where you want to skate, or you can just skate the whole thing. And of course, the idea was, there's all these different areas that you can go skate, or you can session one little thing, but you can still flow around this whole thing with a minimal amount of pushing if you want. And so you can, something that might be fun is just actually cruising around the whole thing and seeing how far you can go without crashing or getting tired or whatever. The rest of the presentation is just kind of some pictures that are basically the same ones that are here on the board, but just give you some other perspectives of things.
Michael, you want to explain the pedestrian way around?
Yeah, let me go back to here. So the idea is, you've got these kind of little areas that come in here, and that this path will be, a pedestrian path that goes all the way around here. But then these little areas will be, spots where, whether it's a shade structure or an area with picnic tables or an area with maybe just trees and shade, and it'll be kind of like these little raised viewing areas. So you're kind of, you're out of the action, but you're kind of, if you're in here, you're kind of surrounded on all three sides by skating, and so you kind of feel like you're in the action, but you're not in the skaters' ways. If a mom's down there with their kids, or if somebody's just hanging out.
What kind of fence line will there be?
There'll be a fence, basically all the way
Outside of the
around this whole thing. So this path will be all inside the fence and be part of the skate
It's
park.
not right up next to the concrete.
Well, it won't be right next to the concrete. It'll probably be separated. There'll be a buffer. The idea is that, if somebody shoots their board out, there's some grass or something that's going to slow it down before it gets to this path. So if someone's walking along here, they don't have to worry about getting the board in their ankles. But, at the same time, we want people to be able to feel like, while I'm out on this path, I'm not isolated. I'm still in the action, and I can see the action. And, whether they're there watching their kids, or they're just watching skating, or they're a skater that's just resting, they're still in there and being able to participate and not feeling like they're outside the skate park. So that's kind of the whole idea with the path thing. And this is just it was more just a placeholder, because we're still going to figure out exactly how this all works with the path and how these viewing areas are going to work. But just so you get the idea of what the path is.